Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Monday, Moon Day, March 10th, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to number 4 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. When it comes to the spirit guidance, we have tiger energy in the reversal position. So with the tiger coming out in the reversal position, it brings me to like force not being necessary, aggression not being necessary. It brings me to taking a step back and approaching something with patience, taking a step back and approaching something with patience. And I feel like when it comes to today's energy, it being the 10th, the number 1 is there and it's amplified with the 0 next to it. So I think of some of us coming up with a lot of ideas. Some ideas feel like the best ideas we've ever had. And a lot of these ideas might have something to do with a solution to issues that we're dealing with where our foundation doesn't feel secure. So the energies in the day adding up, reducing to the number 4 vibration. The number 4 deals with stability, security, discipline, to name a few. So with this energy, for some of us, if we find ourselves feeling irritated or frustrated today, it's because of a lack of stability. It's because a lack of security. And with today being the 10th, we'll be coming up with all of these great ideas to create more stability and security within our world. And with us being in the month of March, the month of March brings in that childlike creative energy, very resourceful energy, the number 3, childlike creative resourceful energy. But my only concern with it coming up now is the level of impulse. It's like, I think of a person overlooking an issue for some time now, and then all of a sudden got time today. And it's good that you have time today, but the thing is, whatever approach that you're gonna give to it today, it's almost like thinking today is enough. Whatever energy you give to it today is enough to fix it permanently. Then an example that's coming to mind is, I think of the person that for some time now, they've been unhappy about how they've been taking care of their health, their body, and whatnot. So today decide to go to the gym and feeling like you're gonna put 5 hours of workout in today and be able to see the results right away from putting all that time in. Where instead, only thing that's going to happen is probably you abusing your body and wearing yourself out. And I think the gym approach is the right approach to take when it comes to today's energy. And energies like this, in the sense that in this moment, you might find yourself feeling really fed up or frustrated with the way how things are, and having a bunch of great ideas and ways to fix it, and feeling like today is going to be the day you transform it, where the gym approach would be beneficial because it takes time and consistency to develop the muscles or the ideal health. And it also requires the same amount of time and consistency to maintain it. So I feel like when it comes to today's energy, it's important for us to remind ourselves that it takes time to build up a thing. And it's also going to require the same amount of time, dedication, and consistency to maintain it. The moon is in Leo. Today is Monday and the moon is in Leo. So Monday, moon day. Normally Mondays, moon days are very emotional and super intense because our inner world is, the moon. And basically I think of, say, most days when we're able to overlook certain things, like on a Monday, like a full moon, or whenever, the moon's being strongly aspected, it's like we can't ignore what it is that we're feeling. It's like a car with no shocks. So it's like every time you drive over a bump, you feel every crack, like in the most dramatic way. You know, normally when it comes to Mondays, you feel your emotions so much more deeper. And I feel like with the energies in the day adding up and reducing to the number 4 vibration, that aspect of the day will cause us to feel things so deeply. But with the moon in Leo, our inner world is in a place where we want to take action. We're coming up with ideas, great ideas. You know, when it comes to today's energy, there's big emphasis on a lot of ideas, great ideas, and having the courage to want to see them through. But with the tiger energy in the reversal position coming out for today, it brings me to it being more beneficial to write these ideas down. It is best to write them down. It is best to write them down and keep a journal of them, because today for some of us, we might try to overdo it. It's like going to the gym and feeling like you're gonna spend how many hours trying to build muscles overnight. It's just not going to happen. And Mercury in Aries is squaring Mars in Cancer. So I think of Mercury in Aries and conjunct Venus in Aries, and Venus is in retrograde. So I value myself, my image. Mercury is there. I'm reflecting on how much I value myself and my image. And, you know, I'm thinking about going in the gym to put 6 hours in to get muscles overnight, just about. But Mars is in Cancer, squaring Mercury in Aries. So it's like my mind wants to go in the gym, but I don't have the energy. My mind wants to go, but my body just can't seem to get me there. So I feel like that's a challenge when it comes to today's energy, where it's like your mind is coming up with all these good ideas, but your body and your will to take action, your ambition, the motivation to make it happen, that is just that's a whole nother story. And with moon in Leo positively aspecting Mercury in Aries, you know, moon in Leo nurtured at the thought of, yeah, I'm going in the gym and I'm gonna put 6 hours in today. You know, and our mind is thinking about it. Yeah, I value myself. I love myself. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna put this time in. But it's like Mars in Cancer, you know, moving the legs to do it, that's not happening. And I feel like for some of us, it'll leave us feeling even worse because you got amped up. You said you was going to do something and you didn't keep your word to yourself. So from not keeping your word to yourself makes you feel even more like a loser, and your situation feels even more overwhelming because you're not doing what it is that you say. So, you know, save yourself the bad feelings, and instead, when it comes to today's energy, think about, you know, when it comes to these great ideas, you know, you're aware of the great ideas and aware of how you can improve your life and your situation, and you write them down. You don't just, you know, the ideas come to you, you write them down and come up with a strategy and an organized way to approach it. Let's pause for a bit. I am proud of the services that I offer and excited to tell you about them. If it would be your first time booking with me, then I recommend the natal chart and numerology awareness coaching session. For a while, that was the only service I offered, along with the 30 minutes tarot reading, which is still available if you're interested. I noticed the pattern. At the end of the natal chart and numerology coaching sessions, some of you would ask me for a follow-up service options for additional clarity and guidance to assist you with whatever you're going through at the moment. I kept saying, I'll look into it. I don't know why it took me so long. Finally, I have created that option along with the service option to book a solar return chart reading for those of you who are strategic and like to plan ahead. Everything you need to know is within the description box below. Let's get back into the video. So this card just pops out. We have the Empress in the reversal position. And with the Empress in the reversal position is bringing me to divine order, divine timing. In the upright position, the Empress deals with giving birth, abundance, transformation, new beginning. In the reversal position, it brings me to the time. It's not that time. It's not that time. So when it comes to today's energy, some of us can find ourselves wanting to force something along when it's just not the time. It's not the time. It's not the due date. It's not the season. It's like, I think of some of us being in a certain season that requires more reflection and understanding of self. And instead, wanting to be taking action when that's just not the season that we're in. And instead we're forcing the action, but we're not following things through. So then we find ourselves feeling even worse, like a loser, because it's like, okay, I'm not where I want to be. I came up with all these ideas and I didn't even do anything that I said I was going to do because it's just not the time for it. So when it comes to today's energy brings me to the thought of, challenging yourself to be still. Challenging yourself to be still. A lot of great ideas will come through that could be very beneficial to solving some challenges and things that you're dealing with, but the strategy is what's required, and also it's not the timing. And I feel like when it comes to the timing, if some of us are honest with ourselves, we'll notice that it's clear that it's not the timing, because instead of things just flowing, we're skipping steps and trying to force things along. Skipping steps and trying to force things along because it's just not the timing. It's not the timing for what we're trying to force along. And then a lot of us too, is just that feeling of frustration about the way how things are. So we're operating from a place of lack, not inspiration, where the universe supports our action, our inspired actions. Whenever you're inspired and you act from inspiration, know that the universe will support it. But if ever we jump up and we act from a place of lack, lack and not negative emotions motivated our actions, then that's only aligning us with more of those emotions that support, that guided us to plant the seeds that we planted. The seeds that we planted weren't planted from a place of, weren't planted from a place of love. So those seeds aren't in alignment with that frequency of love. So instead, we're bearing seeds that we don't even want to bear because the space we were in when we attempt to bear those seeds in the first place. And it feels like a common theme energy flowing from the past few days. It feels like there's this recurring message that keeps coming up about being patient, about being patient with the way how things are. And I mentioned that in March's message, how a lot of us will feel the need to want to take action for the sake of taking action. And something about this month brings me to sitting on our hands. And I feel like when it comes to being in a 9 universal year on a whole, being in a 9 universal year on a whole brings me to the thought of, say, before we got to the 9 universal year, we were speeding down a highway. We were speeding down a straight highway that allows you to go 100 miles per hour. You're speeding down this highway. But then finally this highway comes to a point where, you get signals along the way that you got to start slowing down because, there's a stoplight ahead, a blinking light ahead, because there's an opportunity, or not even an opportunity, because you have to make a right. You have to make a tight right and you have to slow down to do it. And it's like being in a 9 year is like the year where you're making that turn. So it's like things are slowed down. Things are slowed down as we're making up our mind and deciding if we're going to make that turn right, or if we're going to keep going straight, or we're going to turn left, or we're going to get off the road on a whole. So I feel like a lot of patience is required. And I feel like the month of March, a lot of us, our patience are being tried. And I feel like our patience are being tried, are being tested, for the simple fact that this energy, March being the number 3 is masculine energy. It wants to act, it wants to do something for the sake of doing something, and not necessarily focus on what it is that we need to do, but just wanting to do something just to say that I'm not being worthless. I'm not just sitting here and allowing this or that to happen. I'm doing something about it. And it's good to do something when you're inspired, when you get the inspiration to do something. And when I say get the inspiration to do something, I feel like some people could misunderstand this, because with the number 3 energy, we could misunderstand curiosity from a place of desperation or lack as inspiration. And for me, inspiration, similar to intuition, it's not loud, it's not forceful. It's just this knowing comes over you. And even though it's not loud and it's not forceful, it's a very strong knowing that moves you, if that makes sense. It was a pleasure sharing this message with you. Before you go anywhere, let me know you're here with me by dropping me a green heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.